It's the GOAT, the greatest of all time, sports traveler, 11 November, Saturday, 2023, on the island nation of Tuvalu. And yes, the sun is out, hitting me, the GOAT of sports travel, as I make a way into another country in Oceania, the South Pacific. And let me tell you what time it is, and let me explain to you why I tell you the time in reference to this. It is 7:29 in the morning. And it is humider than shit, man. This has got to be the most humid place I've ever been in my entire life, up to this point. And that's saying a lot because I've been to all 7 continents, Africa, Antarctica, all over Asia, Europe, North and South America, and now Oceania. Now, I haven't been to all the countries in Oceania yet. This is my 5th or 6th one. But holy shit, Batman, is it humid here. 7:29 in the morning, and the sun is on you. I mean, it just feels like you're in an oven. 7:29 in the morning. The sun rose here about 6, sets about 6. Last night, I was in this very same vicinity, and when the sun finally went down, so too did the humidity. But oh my lord, even when there's no sun, the humidity is vicious here, and I do mean vicious. I mean, it's vicious right now. This video is not going to be long. I did put on the sunblock today. Good job, Mr. Sports Travel, but it's vicious. And even when there's a light breeze, it doesn't really make a difference. In fact, yesterday, it rained most of the morning, and I'm watching this from the inside comforts of my AC hotel room, thinking, okay, when I walk outside, it's going to be cooler today. No, not cooler. The rain had zero effect on the humidity. It's just crazy, man. In fact, in my room, the AC, I want to say, I got it probably at like 69 degrees Fahrenheit. It's an ice box in there. I like to sleep when it's nice and cool. And I take myself and my camera out of my room, and my camera, you take the lens off the camera, hits that humidity. Oh my God, it's like fogged up. It's amazing. Amazing. Even here, when I brought it here before taking the lens off, fogged up. But having a great time here in Tuvalu. I am in the capital, Funafuti. I'll have to put up pictures of the police station and the government house, which looks like somebody's house, and the police station, which looks like somebody's house. But the people here are very friendly. In fact, the guy this morning offered me a ride. I said, no, I can walk here. You can walk everywhere. A main mode of transportation here is the scooter. And from a sports perspective, football is the sport here. That's the sport I've seen most people playing. There's only one field here. I'll put up some video and pictures of that if you haven't seen it already. And then they use the tarmac, and I'll be flying later today back to Fiji. Use the tarmac because flights only come in here on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, like a great Jimmy Buffett album in honor of the late great Jimmy Buffett. And so they can use the tarmac. In fact, they've set up soccer goalies in the middle of the tarmac. And then I've seen some rugby. In fact, I saw some tackle rugby here last night, but touch rugby on the tarmac, and then also some volleyball. But football is the main sport in this country, which declared its independence, I believe, from Britain. Don't quote me on that. In 1978, when the GOAT was all but 6 years old. So now you can figure out how old I am, because I'm not going to tell you. But doing good, having a great trip. In fact, I booked my tickets about an hour and a half ago, right when the sun came up, for the other Oceania countries. So I'm fully booked. You see all the countries in Oceania. Well, knock that off my list. Booked my ticket to Nauru, which will be the last country, assuming I don't miss my flights and we don't have World War III between now and then. I'm all booked with my flights. Interesting thing also that I noticed about my time here in the South Pacific. So I've been to Australia, New Zealand, French Polynesia, Fiji, Tonga, and now Tuvalu, and I'm going back to Fiji. Is the sun will be out, like it was at the beginning of this video, and now it's kind of not as bright, you know? I noticed this is a phenomenon that's very common. I noticed this in French Polynesia, I noticed this in Tonga, and I noticed this here. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention in Tuvalu, and I mean in New Zealand, Australia, and Fiji. But these three places, Tonga here and French Polynesia, sun will be out and then it'll, you know. So it's not as blistering as it was earlier, but it's more blistering than it's been the last 2 days. This is my third day here. You can walk this entire island. This is the main island. There's a lot of little smaller islands you can see. In fact, I'll give you a little panorama here. I gave you the evening panorama last night. If you see that video, I'll give you a day panorama momentarily. So there's a lot of little atolls around, as there are in a lot of these smaller Pacific countries, South Pacific countries, but this is the main island, Funafuti being the capital. And you can walk this island in 2 hours, end to end, side to side. Side to side is, you can walk from one side to the other side without even walking briskly. You can do it in like 15 minutes. You have to cross the runway to do it, but you can do it. In fact, I did it yesterday. In fact, where the field was, where they play the soccer, the only field football, the rest of the world calls football, we call soccer in the States. On the other side of the field is the other side of the island, this island, where the seas are a lot rougher. Here it's a little more tamer. Now I'm on a berm because of climate change. They're trying to protect this country from basically going underwater. And so this berm is, I guess, part of that effort. So let me give you a panorama here. There's actually some people in the water way down there. So I'm going to give you a panorama. You can see some of the islands that way. Let me give you a panorama here. So you can see way in the distance there, you got some islands way down there. There's a sailboat. And there's some islands way down there. And I don't know if they're inhabited. I don't know if they have the ability to land on them and safely, and if there's reefs or beaches or what. Now these are fishing vessels out here. This boat has been here forever. I don't know what happened. And as we go toward the west, this is where the sun set last night. Another fishing vessel out there. I'm going to put on my hat since it's hotter than a rat's ass. Hang on a second. And I'm going to see if I can zoom in and find those folks that are in the water taking a dip. I think I found them. Taking a swim. Early here in the morning. Yep, taking a dip. I could have a couple people taking a dip. Now way down there, you can see this is the berm. Way down there is the port. That's the port. As you can see, like, the sun is... I'm going to switch to the sun in a minute. Continue our panorama. There's some boats here. There's the sun. And not as blistering as it was earlier. You can see the size of this berm. It's pretty massive. And continue our panorama and back to where we were. So pretty interesting country. Toss the hat. Pretty interesting country. Infrastructure here, not the greatest. Very poor, kind of like Tonga. I haven't really explored Fiji yet. I was just transiting through. That'll be my next stop to spend some time in Fiji. I'm going to be coming to Fiji multiple times. Other countries in Oceania I hope to see. I'm not going to list them yet, and the risk of somehow I miss my flight and bad luck happens. So fingers crossed I see the rest of the Oceania countries. But here in Tuvalu, T-U-V-U-L-U, T-U-V-U-L-U, had a good time. Got about a few more hours left. Going to see maybe some sports this morning. And actually, the one benefit of that sun dipping and how the breeze has picked up, less humid. Less humid. Still humid, but less humid. But overall, had a pleasant time here. if you're looking for like beautiful sandy beaches and be catered to and resorts, this is not the country. There's really no tourism infrastructure here. This is where you want to experience culture. And so I'll try to put up those videos and pictures that sort of shows that. Getting to know some of the people here, which I have. So I've had a good time here. Everybody's different in terms of how much time they want to spend in a certain place and of course what their interests are. For me, it's been enough time. I sometimes tend to get island fever. I love visiting islands, but I couldn't live in an island. Now, I like the city life. San Diego. I like the fact I'm on land. I can get to other cities in California, jump on I-15, get up to Vegas, go down to Mexico, and yet still fly somewhere. I don't think I could live on an island. But I love visiting islands, including this one here in Tuvalu. It's the GOAT of sports travel on 11 November 2023. Over and out.